It is time to go live. Hi, my name is Shelley Hitz. I'm the creator of AuthorAudienceAcademy.com, and I'm the creator of this free 5-day live video challenge. Welcome to day 5. Day 5 is all about going live. So we have covered all the different steps of what it's going to take for you to use live streaming to sell more books, products, to build your audience, to build your tribe, to grow your email list. Whatever goals you have, you can use live video broadcasting to do it. But guess what? You're never going to see the results unless you do what? Unless you push that blue button in the Facebook app that says, go live. You can do this. This is something that I know every single one of you can do. And I'm excited to see the broadcast that you create as a result of this challenge. So today is day 5, and the title of today's broadcast is It's Time to Go Live, the step-by-step outline I use to make my live broadcast a success, and what you need to know when you go live the first time. So we have covered so much information, and yesterday I took you step by step. I had my husband's phone. I took you through the exact steps of how to use the app. So that barrier is gone. You don't have to say, well, Shelley, I don't know what it's going to look like. I don't know what it's going to be like. I've shown you. I've given you the blueprint. I've given you the exact system for you to go live. But I do want to cover a few more things before you press that go live button. Your take action tip right now is to set the date and the time that you're going to go live as a result of this free challenge. And then I want you to look at your calendar. I want you to choose a time and a date, and I want you to make a commitment. Say, I'm going to go live at this time and at this date. It can be a week in the future. It can be today. It can be tomorrow. Whenever you want to set that time, I want you to set a date and a time. And it's going to be best for your initial broadcast to have a specific date and time so you can tell people when to join you. Because if you have a small following or a small email list, you want to make sure you have the biggest opportunity to have the best exposure from your live broadcast. And we are doing this together. We're cheering you on. I am so excited to see what you do. If you've been on any of my webinars, you know they're take action webinars. I want you to make decisions. I don't want you just to statically listen to a training. I want you to make decisions and move forward. And anytime you are sharing your broadcast, make sure to say what time zone, because 9 a.m. Mountain Time is going to be different than 9 a.m. Eastern Time. I actually got messed up this week. I was asked by BookBaby to do a Twitter chat, and they told me it was 4 p.m. I assumed 4 p.m. Mountain Time because that's my time. It was 4 p.m. Eastern Time. I had to reschedule a coaching appointment because I didn't get the time zone right. So make sure that your time zone is listed everywhere that you are promoting your broadcast. All right, so that was our first step for today, just to make that decision of when you're going live. Yesterday, we chose the topic, you chose the title, so if you have not done that yet, make sure to go through day 4. Because, like I said on day 1, I don't want this to be a bright, shiny object for you. I don't want you just to be here watching these videos and not actually implementing and getting results from the strategies. All right, now we're going to go into my outline. Now, this is just a suggested outline. You can use whatever outline works best for your broadcasts, but I want you to at least have a basic outline to know kind of the flow of your broadcast. This is all listed in the checklist for you. in my members area at shelleyhitz.com/live video. Okay, so this is the outline, and this is just a general outline you can start with, and then, like I said, adapt it for what works best for you. But first, you want to get right in to an attention-getting intro about your topic. Start with tons of energy, and don't forget to smile. Like, I just am a smiley type person, I guess. I've always been that way. But I remember listening to a podcast by Michael Hyatt, and he said one time he had an employee approach him and said, would you be open to some feedback that I think would help you, improve your relationships with your staff? And he said, sure. And she said, would you be willing to learn to smile more when you're talking to staff? And he was like, smile more? She says, because it just makes you look more pleasant. Otherwise, you just seem like so rough and gruff and unapproachable. And he was like, it was such good advice for him, and he's learned to do that. If you watch him now on video, he does it. He smiles, and he is, has a pleasant look about him, but you want to be able to smile. You want to be able, not fake. I mean, I'm very enthusiastic. It's just the way I am, but be yourself. Don't be like over the top, like fake about it, but just have a natural smile, because when you're smiling, it just makes you approachable. It makes you more relational, and that's what they're looking at is you. This is live video, so they're most likely going to be watching you most of the time. So you don't want to have this stern look on your face, and it's going to take some practice for some of you, and it doesn't have to be an unnatural thing. But smiling makes a huge difference. So for your attention-getting intro, you can have a quote. You can have just a little sentence or two that you say. And to be honest, most people that join you live are not going to see that. The people who will see the attention-grabbing intro will be those that watch the replay. But you're going to get potentially a lot of replay viewers if you're following the system that I teach you and continuing to promote the broadcast after the fact. And you'll get all of the steps in the bonus training. After you go live, you can claim your bonus training on day 5. Just fill out the form, and I have that bonus training waiting for you. So the attention-grabbing intro today, I said, it's time to go live. That was my attention-grabbing intro. Sometimes it could be a question. Sometimes it could be a quote. Sometimes it could be a prop. Maybe you have a prop, and Judy on here is into gardening. Maybe she has a gardening tool, and she says, today I'm going to be talking about this tool and how it can double the productivity that you get out of your plants. Are you interested? Stay tuned for more. See how easy that was? You just have to be intentional about creating some type of attention-grabbing intro. I try to do this on my webinars, my live speaking engagements. You can even tell a short story, but on live video broadcasts, just get right into it and share an attention-grabbing intro. Make sure you have tons of energy, you're smiling, and that you're not waiting around for people to get there live. I never have anyone here live when I'm first starting. And so people kind of trickle in. So just make sure you get right into it. Don't wait around and say, oh, I'm just going to wait around for a few people to get here. Don't do that because that's the fastest way to get unfollowed in the Facebook feed and to get clicked away from. Just get right into it. People can watch the replay if they miss anything and give them value. Okay, the second part of the outline is then, after you have that short introduction, is to introduce yourself. I introduce myself in many different ways. So you want to have some sort of credential, some sort of what makes you different, what makes you special, what have you done? Are you a best-selling author? Are you a professional speaker? What kind of things could you say? Are you a podcast host? So sometimes I'll say, Hi, my name is Shelley Hitz. I'm the author of over 40 best-selling books, and the list keeps growing. I'm the creator of AuthorAudienceAcademy.com, and I'm on a mission to help you reach more people with your message. It's time to let your light shine. So that's one of the ways I introduce myself. I do it, I kind of mix it up. Sometimes I'll say, I'm the podcast host of Author Audience, or I'll say, I'm the creator of this 5-day live video challenge. Whatever it is, you can be a creator, you can be owner of something, best-selling author, professional speaker, podcast host. Choose something that would be relevant to your audience. You don't want to go tooting your horn forever and ever, but you want them to know that you have some credibility in your field. Make sense? So attention-grabbing intro, introduce yourself. Those two things should just take a very, very short time. Get right into it. Then you can include your call to action. So if you want to have a call to action to a book or to a freebie, or in this case, it's my challenge. So, as part of this challenge, you can also download now it's 18 pages. I made some edits to it, so if you guys have downloaded it during the live challenge previously, you may want to re-download it, but it's now an 18-page checklist, and you can get that for free at shelleyhitz.com/live video. So depending on what your call to action is, you can include the call to action right away. That way, if somebody is just watching the first few minutes or the first few seconds of your video, they get that call to action and they can, decide if they want to take you up on that. I also recommend that if you have certain links that you're sharing, you can also train your followers and your live attendees to type those into the comments. You can say, will someone type that into the comments for me if you have enough people live with you. And then you may also want to ask them to share the broadcast. Now, I tend to wait until I've actually given value. So this part of the outline, you can say, if you know others that would really benefit from this live video challenge, other authors, please share this with them. You can share the URL, shelleyhitz.com/live video, or simply share this video when we're finished. Right now, Facebook doesn't have a great way to share inside the live broadcast. I hope that's going to change, and it probably will. On Periscope, you can share during a live broadcast. That's one thing I really like about Periscope. And then you just get into your teaching segment. And so what I recommend that you do is you have a basic outline. I usually recommend a 3-point outline. So on a short live video broadcast that's about 15 minutes, I usually try to cover 3 points. You may only have one main point, but what I normally do, and I talked about this earlier, is I just have it on my Post-it notes. I have a little Post-it pad, and I just write out real quick. I take 2 minutes or a minute or something just to write out my outline. So I'm actually going to have you do that now. So for the topic you have chosen for your live broadcast, and I want you to write out a quick 3-point outline, the 3 major points you want to cover, or just write out a basic outline of what you want to cover during your broadcast. Now, what I want you to think about while you're teaching, and I have demonstrated this to you throughout this challenge, is how can you engage your audience during the live broadcast. This is not a pre-recorded video, and so you want to think about how to engage. That's part of the power of doing live video. So part of the power of live video is you get to interact. And the big mistake I see people making, either on Periscope or here on Facebook Live or other live platforms, is they just sit there and lecture. I think part of it can be nerves. You're just wanting to get through your material, but try to relax and then think about how can you engage your audience. For example, I can say, are you ready to learn the microphone that I use for my live broadcast? It has a long cord, it has great quality, and it's only $20. If you're ready to learn what that microphone is, type yes in the comments. So see what I did? I asked them if they're ready for something, and I just say type yes in the comments. That's a way to engage your audience. You can say, if you agree with this, type yes in the comments. Or like I've done for accountability, share in the comments below if your outline is done. Just type outline done. You can do all sorts of things to ask them to do things. Another thing is asking them to rate something. So you can say, all right, I have a question for you. If you have gone live on Facebook before, type a 1 in the comments. If you've never gone live on Facebook before, type a 2 in the comments. Then you can get people writing 1s or 2s, and it's a great way to easily survey your audience. Do you do that even if you don't have anyone live or not very many people live? I would still do that. And what I tend to do too is I'll say, whether you're here live or watching the replay, type this in the comments as a result. You'll always get more people responding to you live. Well, not always. I tend to get more people responding to me live, but I always tend to still get comments of people who are watching the replays. So you can decide how you want to do that, but I would definitely recommend integrating some interaction in some way. Does that make sense? Like, you can do little things like that on your live broadcast, instant feedback on your audience. And if applicable, give them an action step they can apply right away. You've seen me do these little 1-minute sprints. You could do that with your audience, or you could have them just make a decision and type it in the comments. You can, just give them an action step at the end. Sometimes I do that. I'll say your take action step for today is. So you want to give them an action step, if possible, that they can take. And if you're doing a challenge, you can hold them accountable. So I've done that a few of the days. I said, okay, if you have done and finished day 3, type day 3 done in the comments. And that was a form of accountability. People like that. And it helps them keep moving forward. If they get results from you, if they get results with you, if they find that you're giving them value but not just giving them more information that paralyzes them, but they're actually taking action and implementing, they're going to be more likely to want to come back to your broadcasts. And optional, after your teaching segment, you can do a recap. So let's say you have your 3-step outline. You could say, okay, just a recap of what we covered. I covered this, and this. And this was your take action step. And then at the end, I recommend staying on if you have live viewers and doing a Q&A. So you can say, okay, that is what I had for you today. Does anyone have questions for me? If you're here live, type them in the chat box. This is a chance to interact with you. If you're on the replay, please type your questions in the comments and I'll reply through Facebook. And then if you're doing a challenge, after that, I recommend saying, okay, what is coming next? Tomorrow, we're going to cover X, Y, Z. Have you noticed I've done that every day? I even do it in the description. And if you look back on my other videos, say what's next, because you want people to continue thinking, I want to come back. And if you know, even if it's not a challenge, if you know what your next broadcast topic will be and when it will be, it's a great time at the end of your broadcast to say, then my next live broadcast will be next week at this exact same time. I'm going to be covering X, Y, Z. Because you're always priming the pump, getting them thinking about coming back. You can even say, make sure to put it on your calendar if it's, a ways away. And then at the end, you want to, again, close with your call to action. And, again, for mine right now, it's make sure to get the checklist and get access to the bonus videos when you sign up at shelleyhitz.com/live video. You'll have all of the resources that you need, and that way you don't have to take furious notes as you watch these broadcasts. All right, so that is the outline. Now I'm going to talk about when you're live. I'm going to talk about a few little tips. So number 1, don't worry about numbers. Right now it shows that I have 11 viewers. That's not very much, really. I mean, I have hundreds of people signed up for this challenge and it's showing me only 11 are live right now. But I'm going to use this replay. I'm going to use the video file in multiple ways. So don't let that derail you. Just give your best content, give your best energy, whether or not there are 0 people there, or there are 10 or 100 or however many are on your live broadcast. People just may not be able to make it at the time you're live, and that's fine. You know, let them come at the time and watch the replay when it works best for them. But the best way to get more live attendees is to have a specific time and to remind them. My very biggest day attendance-wise for this challenge was the very first day, and that was the day I emailed my entire list of almost thousands of authors. So I emailed my entire list that I was going live on Monday. I had a lot of people. I think it was like over 100 live on Monday. The rest of the week, I only emailed those that specifically signed up for the challenge email list. And I've had a lot less, anywhere from like 10 to 20. And so it really made a difference when I emailed my entire list. But I didn't want to bug my entire list all week if they're not interested in live video. So that's just, something. Don't get caught up in the numbers. So that's the first thing. I know a lot of you guys are going to freeze up when you see there's nobody here live, or it's going to want to make you nervous. Just pretend that your virtual room is full and just imagine all the replay viewers. Imagine all the ways you're going to reach people through the repurposing that you do, and just give it your best shot. Got it? All right. The second tip is to look into your lens. I've already talked about this in another day of the challenge, but I want you to make sure you're making eye contact with your audience. What happens is if you're looking at yourself, or if you're always looking at the comments, you're not going to be looking and making eye contact with your audience. Have you ever had a conversation with somebody who's not keeping eye contact with you? They're distracted and they're like looking away. Or if you're a woman, sometimes you've had men that are looking at a certain part of your anatomy and it's really bugging you because you're like, just look in my eyes. I've had that happen before and it bugs me. It really irritates me because I'm just like, look in my eyes. And if you're not looking into the lens, that's the feeling that your audience is going to get. That's the primary reason I decided not to do Facebook and Periscope at the same time. I've actually done Facebook, Periscope, and Blab all at the same time. It was fun. I loved it. It was great to be able to connect with so many different people. But what happens is you're never making eye contact with every single device 100% of the time. And to me, it feels just like that. Like I'm having a conversation with somebody and I'm distracted and not giving them my full attention or looking into their eyes. That's the way I just feel like my audience would feel. And I actually got a comment one time on one of my videos and she said, Shelley, what are you looking at? I was like, oh, because I had Facebook and Periscope going at the same time. And so I was kind of trying to look back and forth. She's like, what are you looking at? And I don't know, like for me, I am just such a relational person. I'm just so authentic and want to be connecting with you. I don't want you to feel like I'm like distracted or looking around or that I'm not connecting with you. And so that's why I've chosen one primary platform. Sometimes I will go on to Periscope and I will still broadcast there, but if I do, it's Periscope only. So just make sure you're looking into the lens, not just focusing on yourself or on the comments. Makes sense? Also, and I do this, I mean, I am guilty. You watch my broadcast and I'm fixing my hair all the time, but try not to use your live broadcast video as a mirror. You know, it's like you get on and then you're like, oh, wait, you know, do I have anything in my teeth? Or you're like fidgeting, and I do it like my hair, it's just like my hair bugs me sometimes, and so I'll try to fix it, but it's a bad habit, and I'm telling you that I'm not modeling what you should do, because try not to use your video as a mirror. So try to, look at yourself before you have everything set up so you're already in place, and then press go live. And frame yourself well in the video. You can see here, you know, I'm kind of framed well. If I was way back here, I'm not as framed well because there's a ton of space up here. Right now, Facebook Live is a square. They may change it eventually, but Facebook really is making their platform for mobile devices. And so mobile devices, you know, this square image fits really, really well with the comments. So I think that's what they're going for with that. And then what to do if your video freezes. So this has happened to me several times during this challenge. I don't know if maybe it's happened a couple times. Sometimes it will say low signal, and it will, your little red guy at the top, it's going to be at the top left-hand corner of your screen. There's a little red guy, and it will turn gray, and it will say, I can't remember exactly what it says, but it says something about low connection. If that happens, just keep going. Don't stop, because typically what I found is it will just come back. And during that low connection time, the screen will just be a little bit more fuzzy in your recording, but everything else is fine. Whereas if you get all, you know, oh, is my connection okay? Or can you guys still see me? Is everything okay? Like, just breathe and just keep going. Now, if it actually freezes, you don't see the screen anymore, and there's a little, I think it's a little red thing that comes up, and it says, you know, your connection. Oh my goodness, you guys, it just happened right now. So I could tell you what it says. The screen came up and it said trying to reconnect. How amazing was that? Maybe God just did that so I could teach you this today. Oh, so funny. Well, anyways, it just came up on my screen. It actually caught me off guard because I was teaching that very same thing. But yeah, the screen goes black, and when that happens, just wait. Pause. And then when the screen comes back, just pick up where you left off. Don't act like anything happened. Don't say that it stopped. Don't give any attention to it with your words or with your reactions. So what you'll do is just stop what you were saying and then wait for it to come back up, and then just continue. Don't let it derail you. It happens. This is technology. But guess what? Stuff happens for me on GoToWebinar, and I pay a lot of money every month for that platform. This platform, guess how much it costs? It's free. It doesn't cost us anything. And so if we have to put up with a few little glitches here and there, let's just roll with the punches, right? So if that happens, the first thing that can happen is a low signal and your little guy in the top left-hand corner goes gray. Just keep going. Don't pay attention to that. The second thing that could happen is it could actually freeze and you get this red button and it says trying to reconnect. In that case, stop and then continue going. Facebook is the gorilla when it comes to social media marketing. They will continue to improve. And so the technology, if you're watching this later, after the time that it was recorded, technology is probably already improved. All right, so if it freezes, those are the things to do. Now, if it gives you that connection thing and it never comes back up, you're waiting. That happened to me only once. And I actually just took my phone out of my tripod and I walked over close to my wireless adapter, and then it came back on, and it was for a live Q&A for my paid group, so it wasn't a big deal. But if that happens to you where it just never comes back up, then you can end the video and you may have to restart it. If that happens, just delete the other one from your page and restart. Or if you've already gone through a lot of the training, what you could do is just come back on live for a few more minutes. Personally, I like to have everything in one video. So not having them like, I've seen this happen to, it was Shalene Johnson before, I've seen it happen, and she had like 4 different videos. And I don't know, I just wanted everything in one video. But technology stuff happens sometimes. So you can choose whether or not, if it never comes back up, and it's, like I said, it's only happened to me once. Try to move your phone closer to a wireless, wherever your wireless router is. You can choose to stop it and start again and just start where you left off, or you can choose to stop it, delete the video, and then restart from the beginning and just have the entire video again. All right. One other thing I want to mention is handling comments. So everyone is different in how they want to handle comments. Some people want to just teach and not answer any comments and then answer comments at the end. My approach typically tends to be a group facilitation thing. So it's almost like we're sitting around a table and I'm facilitating a group discussion. And I'm teaching, but we're all kind of interacting as we go. And I tend to acknowledge comments as I go. Now, you find your own rhythm. You find what works best for you. If you want to say at the beginning of your broadcast, say, I'm going into my teaching segment. At the end, I'll have a chance for Q&A. So if you could save your questions for the end, that would be great. And I will make sure to stay on and answer all your questions. You could say something like that if that's what you prefer. One of the things you want to be careful of, and sometimes this happens to me, I'm not perfect by any means, is you can get derailed off onto a rabbit trail by answering questions. So if the comment or the question isn't directly related to what you're teaching at that minute, you may want to wait and say, hey, Judy, I see your question. Could you save that until the end? Because that's a really great question, but I want to keep on topic. So it's almost like you're facilitating a group discussion and you have to decide what works best for you. When you do answer questions, make sure to personally use their names. I tend to use first names. You can even, sometimes I'll say Jean Wise or Rebecca Livermore or Judy Jackson, Patty Pendleton. I'll use your last names because they're right there in your comments. So it's up to you, how you want to call people out, but there's something really, really special when you say someone's name, and that can be a powerful connection that you make with someone. All right, so now the last section of today's teaching is what you do after the broadcast is over. So once the broadcast is over, and I showed this step by step on my screen yesterday, there's also a screenshot in your checklist that you can download at shelleyhitz.com/live video. But Facebook will give you a screen and it will ask you if you want to save the video. Currently, and it probably will change in the future, but currently you have to manually choose to save the video every single time. I've forgotten a couple times. And so make sure to choose that option, save video, and then I always save it in a higher definition quality. So make sure to save the video once you click finish on your broadcast. The second thing that you'll want to do after you finish your broadcast is to edit the video on Facebook. Now, I've noticed, even since I've started broadcasting on Facebook, I started with the Facebook Mentions app months ago, even before it really rolled out to the public. But what I've noticed is Facebook keeps changing the way that you do this. So this may change. But currently, from your Facebook feed, when you find that live video, your recent live video, if you click the drop-down menu, there will be a place to click edit. If you don't see edit, just click see more. There's a see more link, and then you'll find a place to edit the post. And once you edit the post, you can add a title, you can add tags, which I think tags are going to be really powerful. This week, I saw one of my videos got 400,000, it wasn't views, it was like almost 400,000 people reached. And I thought it was wrong because there was like 100 views at that time. But when I went back and looked at my other videos, I have a ton of reach on all of my live videos. Part of it is because these are longer. Part of it, I'm wondering, is because I added tags. I added tags about Facebook, Facebook Live, different things. And I'm wondering, I don't know, but I'm wondering if Facebook has given me more reach because of that. So, it's just a simple thing you can do at the end, just to add a few tags, start typing in, like I just started typing in Facebook, and then it gives me some suggestions. If it doesn't give you a suggestion, you can't use it as a tag. So just start typing. You could type in another page sometimes, or other people related to you, things related to the topic you just spoke on. I'm not 100% sure, I'm not an expert in all the statistics, but you have your reach and then you have your views. So views are actually people who've actually, watched and viewed the video. Reach is probably the people who've seen it in their feed. I'd have to do a little more research to know for sure, but I'm thinking they've seen it somehow in their feed. All right, and then you can add a custom thumbnail. So I've been having my designer create custom thumbnails. When I repurpose this video on YouTube, I have her create a custom thumbnail for that, and then I also use the custom thumbnail here. So what that does is it gives them the title and kind of an attention-grabbing image right away with that custom thumbnail. That way you can set yourself apart from other people. Now, you may just want to have your picture on there. If you don't want to have a custom thumbnail, when you edit it, you can actually scroll through. You know how sometimes you see a live video and they're like this? Like they have like a weird picture on the screen shot thing, you know, on the video, or you're like, you know, it's just a weird snapshot of you. When you click edit post, you can actually scroll through 10 different pictures of you that Facebook captured during your live broadcast, and you can choose the one that fits best or the one that looks best. So if you don't want to add a custom thumbnail, just choose one of the 10 thumbnails that Facebook has chosen for you that you like the best. So you can change that. You can also add a call to action. So you can add your URL, because you're always going to have a call to action, right? You can add your URL, and then you can add a little text if you want, and that's what people will see at the very end if they watch to the end of your video. Never forget to take just a minute or two to edit your video. It literally just takes me maybe a minute or two to do these steps, and it can really help increase your exposure and help set you apart in your live videos. All right, so that is the final training. You guys have set a date, you have been equipped, and now it's time to go live. And I have given you incentive to actually take action and go live. In day 5 of the member area, there is a link to fill out a form. That form, once you fill it out and you tell me the link where you went live and everything, you'll get access to those bonus videos, my live video blueprint. I am 41. I can tell my eyesight is starting to go bad, but I am able to see my comments. I'm just a little less than an arm's length away from my phone, so I'm still fairly close. But I also have my laptop right here, and it had my notes. So I had my notes here. It was just from the checklist. But then I also have, you can come over here, this is my Facebook page. So, and what you can do is just come over to your page when you're live, refresh it, obviously. You can go to where your live video is. Okay, there I am. And then I can see the comments there. And you can address the comments there. You can also make it bigger. Just make sure it's on mute. So you can do that as well. So what you can do is, did you see what I did? So on the timestamp here, this is where you get the permalink. When you go live, the link you'll give me, you'll right click that link and you'll copy link address. That's the permalink. That's the link you'll use when you promote this video on social media, anywhere else. But you can click that and it will also give you the comments here. And that's probably a better way because you can scroll through them. So I just showed you how to get the permalink for your live video that you do as a result of this challenge. And I want you to implement the exact strategies, that I have taught you this week. So I talked about trolls yesterday, and basically what you can do is if you have your laptop up at the same time and you see a troll come across, I've only ever had one, and I've been broadcasting live on Facebook for months, but I had one yesterday and he was saying just like things that were, it didn't mean anything to me, like you're ugly or you look like you're in a museum, or I don't know, it's just dumb stuff. But what happens is if you have a troll, it can actually get you distracted and it can cause you to lose your train of thought. So my tip about trolls, ignore them. Don't talk about them. Like I see people talk about trolls on Periscope. There's a ton of trolls on Periscope. And to be honest, don't give them power. You give them power when you talk about them. Don't mention their comment. Don't say their comment. Don't react to it. Just ignore it. Now, I don't know a way on mobile to block anyone that when you're live, but yesterday what I did during one of the 1-minute sprints is I just went in on my computer, and next to his comment, there's a drop down screen. And that drop down screen gives you the option of hiding that comment or embedding. I just hid the comment, and then it asked me if I wanted to block him. And I said yes, because I don't want him coming back on and being a troll in another broadcast. So if you're not able to do that live because you're right in the middle of your content, just ignore it, leave it, and then after you're done, go back in and hide those comments and block that person. But just don't give them power. Don't let them derail you. And if you need to, just don't look at the comments for the rest of your scope. I mean, usually it's going to be a 10 to 15 minutes broadcast. And so just, if you have to, just don't look at the comments so you're not getting distracted by that person. I think that particular troll would have kept commenting if I wouldn't have blocked him. So it happens. Don't let it bother you, and just don't give them power. So excited. I cannot wait to see the videos you create as a result of this challenge. I have given you a ton of training. I plan to be on here 30 minutes every day, and today is the 3rd day that I'm on here, almost an hour. And so you have gotten a ton of training. This became a full-blown course, but I wanted you to be prepared. I wanted you to have all the steps. I didn't want to leave any holes because I want you to have success. I don't want you to go live and be missing out on the promotion part, or I didn't want you to go live and be missing out on what type of topics or how to write good titles or how to deal with the app. You know, I didn't want you to go live and not have what you needed. And that's a little tip too. If you're doing a deeper training, or if you're doing some sort of teaching like that, you could ask people that if you have people interacting with you live, share your aha moment from today in the comments. You can then screenshot those comments, use them as social proof for your brand, for your training, you know, things like that. But it also is just encouraging. It's encouraging to you. It's encouraging to me, you know, just to hear feedback that people are enjoying it, that they're getting value. And then if you have enjoyed the challenge, the very best way that you can repay me for all this training is to go live, is to use the strategy to build your audience, is to be consistent with it, to do it in the way that I've taught you, and to do it with excellence, and then to repurpose, get those bonus videos, and figure out what is the best repurposing plan for you. So thank you again for joining me for this 5-day live video challenge. This is a completely free training, so feel free to share with all of your friends, anyone you know that wants to go live on Facebook or wants to reach their audience in a bigger way. They want to really be able to sell more books, sell more products, make a bigger impact. Share this training because it's going to be available ongoing. You can find it at shelleyhitz.com/live video. You can just share that link with your friends, and I appreciate you. I appreciate you spending the time with me, and I pray that it yields many results, that you are able to be fruitful as a result of this training, that you're able to take action, that it brings you to a new level in your marketing, that you're able to overcome the fear of going live, of actually doing video. I also have a training that is available for you in the members area for pre-recorded videos. So you may also want to integrate pre-recorded videos with the live videos into your marketing strategies, but that's available for you in the members area. You'll get everything at shelleyhitz.com/live video. Well, thank you guys so much for being here, and I cannot wait to start seeing the forms come through from you in my email inbox. I hope it's clogged up with all of you going live. I'm cheering you on. Let's do it. It is your time to shine. My theme of my brand comes from Matthew 5. A city on a hill cannot be hidden. You shouldn't put a light under a basket, but you should let your light shine. So here I am encouraging you. It's time to let your light shine. All right, we'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.